Hello, my love. So, I wanted to share with you 5 powerful lessons that you can learn from a karmic relationship. The first one is never ever romanticize a potential mate because you will be spending time with your fantasy while suffering from the reality of who they truly are. So always remember to be grounded and centered when it comes to your emotions, and don't allow your emotions to trick you and make you believe that someone treating you bad and rejecting you and abandoning you and then popping up whenever they want to. Don't ever mistaken that for true, genuine love. Romanticizing just means you being in your mind and creating a vision of what you truly want, and you value the vision so much that you neglect the reality of what they're truly showing you. And it can also keep you in a toxic or karmic relationship way longer than you need to. So the second one, never ever ignore your intuition, that gut feeling where you know this doesn't feel right. You know, it doesn't feel right. You know, something is off. You keep looking at their effort. Their words say one thing, but you just keep looking at the effort and the time that they put into you and how they value you and the reciprocation of energy. You see it all, you feel it all, but you know it's wrong, and you could feel it in your gut, and you ignore it because you're just so attracted, or you're just so in lust. You're just so in lust with what you want to come out of the situation. So that's two. Never ever ignore your intuition. And three, never ever neglect yourself for love. I feel like that is so important. Don't you ever neglect yourself and neglect the things that you love. If you have your friends, still be around your friends. If you're working on your goals, still show up for your goals. If you still have like your self-love rituals, whether it's meditation or swimming, listening to music, being out in nature, don't ever neglect yourself and who you are, and put someone else ahead of you, put someone else on a pedestal, raising them so high like God that you feel that you have to please them and neglect your own self, and you neglect your boundaries. You have boundaries. Baby, don't you remember them boundaries that you created? But then you say you're not going to answer the phone, and when they call, you answer the phone, and you ain't gonna let them come over and sleep with you no more because they hurt you. But then it's like, oh my God. And it happens. That's another thing too. It happens because valuing yourself and honoring yourself, it takes time, especially if you're so used to trying to please other people and make other people happy. It's a habit that you created, and trying to develop a healthier habit for yourself or showing up for yourself, it could feel foreign. Some people, they've been helping their mother, raising their children, and their grandparents for so long. They always been putting things and people and their job before themselves, that they get lost. They don't even have a clue of what to do with themselves. So if you are in a situation like that, you need to start with asking yourself, well, what makes me happy? What did I always dreamed of doing, but I've never got around to it because I'm so busy trying to meet the needs of others. So that's how you start. What's 3 things that make me happy? I've always wanted to learn how to swim. And I want to tell you that I just learned how to swim last year. I paid for swimming lessons, and I finally learned to swim. So it's never too late. It's never too late to start a goal. All right. And number 4, don't you ever internalize their actions and their lack of effort as your identity. This happens so often, that because you love them and because you are like pouring into them, or because you want them so bad, that how they treat you and how they show up for you, you begin to identify yourself with it. You begin to identify yourself with those wounds. This is what really hurts the most and what causes low self-worth, low self-esteem, for you to lose your trust in your own self, is once you start to internalize and feel like there's something wrong with me if they did not make the effort. There's something wrong with me because let me tell you, most of these karmic people are very narcissistic, and they are so good at projecting. And that's why it sticks. It sticks because honestly, when you love someone, you are looking for reciprocation of love, right? You feel like that because let me tell you why. This is going to blow your head, right? In school, if you worked harder, whoo, baby, didn't they tell us that in the school systems? If you work harder, then you will get the A. So you put this concept into your love relationships that they're not making the effort. So if I work harder, that means that they will show up. And you don't realize like how systematically programmed you are with this. That if I work harder, eventually I'll get what I want, because they tell you to work harder when you want the end game when it comes to your career, and they do it when it comes to school. So now this is the program. If I work harder, I can earn their love, because you work harder, you earn that A. This is not the same thing. This is not the same thing, because with people like that, the harder you work, the harder you try, the more they probably push you away. And then you working harder and trying and being pushed, you start to now feel like, oh my God, it's like a blow. And it feels like rejection, and I'm not enough, or my love is not enough. Now you're grading your love because of what they give you back in return. It's kind of like you work on a hard paper, you put everything into it, and your teacher gives you an F, and you're like, what? Damn, maybe I'm not a good writer after all. I gave it everything I got. So now you're doing the same thing with your love. You're putting everything in it, and because they're not giving you that A, that recognition, that appreciation, you feel like, oh my God, I failed. I'm a failure. And you're not. It's just someone who is not aligned with you, someone who doesn't probably even know how to receive love. And it's not what you wear as an identity. It's not a grade of F of failure. It's actually a learning curve. So do not create an identity over someone else's lack of effort. And this is the most important one, baby. Don't you ever sit and wait for someone to choose you. I feel like you are more worthier than that. You shouldn't have to sit on the sidelines and wait for someone to choose you and check their social media and seeing what's going on in their life and waiting for them to choose you. When situations start to turn like that, and you notice that you're starting to lose yourself, and you notice that you're starting to lose sleep, and you look in the mirror, you don't even want to look in the mirror no more, because you feel like you're waiting on someone to choose you. The more that they have you waiting or neglect you, or they're in and out your life, now you starting to reject your own self. You reject yourself. You don't want to look in the mirror anymore. You feel so rejected because you weren't chosen, or you're waiting to be chosen, that you begin to reject yourself. And then when they call you and tell you they want to see you, now you get excited. Whew. You're excited when they call you, but when they don't show up, your whole life shuts down. Your friends like, baby, where you at? I want to go out. Let's go. You're like, no, I don't want to. Because now you stuck in depression. You done gave your power away. I feel like these are all things that you can learn from an unhealthy soul tie, a karmic partner. And the only thing that will heal these patterns is love. Loving yourself and learning new patterns, learning new ways to show up, and understanding that there is someone out there who will make the same effort that you make, but you don't have to people please and beg and lose yourself in order to receive it. All right? Love and light, my loves.